Ankit, Yashu, can you give me a thumbs up? Lakshmi is back. Hi, Lakshmi. You went running away. Did you manage to do it, Lakshmi? Yes, perfect. Okay. And did you bring it back? So let's move on to our next activity. For our next activity, please listen very, very carefully to what I am going to say now. Okay. Please listen very carefully to what I'm going to say now. What did we do from the time we started this workshop, from the time we started this awareness session? The very first thing that we did is I asked all of you, what are the things that you think a blind person, okay, stop whatever you're doing and just pay attention to what I'm saying. Okay, leave everything on the table, because what I'm saying now is something that you need to pay attention to. Okay, so just stop whatever you're doing. Teja, stop whatever you're doing and just listen to what I'm saying. Okay, so yes, thank you, Rasika, for that thumbs up. The first thing that we today's session is that we said, what are the things that a blind person would find difficult or impossible to do? And we wrote it down, right? Uzda helped us to write it down. And here it is. Let me read it out for you. Some people said reading and writing would be difficult. Knowing the time would be difficult. Eating would be difficult. Using technology, cooking, identifying color, navigation, reading and writing, viewing nature and enjoying nature. Then, yes. Reading people's mood without talking, using public transport, all of these we wrote down, right? All of you did a few activities just now, right? In a blindfolded condition. I'm going to ask you not to take off your blindfolds right now, but just to spend the next 30 seconds reflecting on all that you did after you wore your blindfold, right? We did a few activities. What did we do? We used paper to draw something. We used paper to create something, whether it was a boat or a rocket or whatever. We used technology. We charged our phones. Many of us succeeded in doing that. We pulled out money from our wallets and tried to identify it. So we did a few activities when we were blindfolded. I want you to spend the next 30 seconds or 1 minute reflecting on the time you were blindfolded. Okay, what was going on in your mind when you were doing these activities? Was there a sense of stress? Was there a sense of panic? Was there a sense of anxiety? Or was there a sense of calm and focus where you said, I need to do certain things. I need to find a way in order to do it. I need to listen to what this man is saying so that I can focus on what I have to do. Was all these things going on in your mind? How successful were you in achieving what you were set out to achieve? In case you succeeded, what were the reasons for your success? In case you did not succeed in one or two of the activities, what could possibly have been the reason why you did not succeed? I just want all of you to spend the next 1 minute without taking off your blindfold, reflecting on every single thing that you did, on every single thought that was passing through your mind, right? Now, once you finish your reflection after a minute or so, not just now and not when I finish talking, but after you finish your reflection, you may very, very quietly remove your blindfolds. Not now, as I said, take time to reflect. And even when you are removing your blindfold after a minute or so, I know that there must be a temptation to yank it off and pull it off and, come out of your discomfort and come back into your comfort zones. But, be kind and compassionate with your own selves. Teja, when we were very, very young, we were taught how to be kind and compassionate with people around us, animals around us. Seldom do we practice that same compassion with our own selves, right? You are coming back into a situation which you're very familiar with from a situation which you're not familiar with, right? Ease yourself back into the world that you know. Do not straight away force yourself back. Reflect about what I'm saying, think about what I'm saying, and very, very slowly pull out your blindfold when you finished your reflection. For maybe 5 or 10 seconds, you can even keep your eyes shut and slowly open your eyes and gather what is going on around you. Now, I'm going to stop speaking because I need you to reflect in a very quiet, in a very respectful manner. And when you finish your reflection, slowly take off your blindfold and slowly open your eyes. Excellent. Some of you have taken off your eyes. Some of you like Teja are rubbing your hands and giving some warmth to your eyes, which is a very nice way to come back. You can wear your specs now if you need to wear your specs. Perfect. Usha, there seems to be some noise happening. Is that from your background? I can hear some kind of noise.
It might be from my background only.
Okay, in that case, just switch your audio off. Okay, thank you. So that was an experience, right? That we all had. We did something. I'd like to hear from all of you. I'd like to hear what your experience was, right? Teja, would you like to start? Would you like to unmute yourself and start?
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Go ahead, Teja.
So, during the activities, actually, I feel you thought to make the heart, and you said me to make a boat. That time, I really took calm and do it. But when you give the task to charge and to put to mobile, I become scared. Okay. Because it is electricity, and this is new office.
वो डर का वजह क्या था आपका? जो आपके मन में डर पैदा हुआ, उसका वजह क्या?
वजह ये थी कि कहाँ मैं स्विच में मेरी या इट इज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, सो थोड़ी बहुत
ओके, बट आपने मैनेज किया?
हाँ,
मैनेज किया. ओके, somebody else, Ankit Jain, would you like to share your experience?
Yeah, so the very first activity of making the heart, it was a bit difficult because I was not able to understand कि क्या बनाया है. फिर मैंने दिखाया भी नहीं, and it's 2 hearts बनाए and they are just fine, not totally hard. So there was a sense of stress a little bit.
देखो यार अंकित, आपने 2 बनाए, बाकी लोगों ने सिर्फ 1 ही बनाया, आपने 2 बनाए. एक्सेलेंट जॉब.
एक मैंने ब्लाइंड मतलब बिना लेफ्ट हैंड के बनाया, एक मैंने लेफ्ट हैंड के साथ बनाया.
यानी कि 1 हार्ट और 1 बटाटा बनाया आपने.
So in the second activity it was better because it was like a memory coming back where I know how to make a aeroplane and I can actually do it even blindfold. And in the third activity as well, it was a bit easier because I know my space pretty well, so I can go around. So yeah, so that's my experience.
Okay, Neha, आपके दिमाग में क्या क्या चल रहा था? नेहा तिवारी, आप बताइए, what was going on in your mind?
पहले तो damn it.
Go ahead, Neha. You can speak. Go ahead. While Neha is adjusting, Swati Singh, would you like to share your experience? आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था? What was going on in your mind?
So I think initially I was like, as you said, थोड़ा सा anxious feel हो रहा था. I did not know where things are, how I'll manage things, the activities. I was feeling very anxious. But when I was given the task, at that time I felt very much focused. Even after the tasks were completed, I felt very much focused in whatever I was doing.
Excellent. Thank you, Swati. Uzda, what was going on in your mind? Were you remembering somebody? Were you thinking of someone when you were doing this? क्या चल रहा था आपके दिमाग में?
Yes, I actually have a friend who faced an accident and lost his eyesight. His thought came into my mind. Okay. This is the first time maybe I'm directly experiencing the first-hand experience of losing your sight in an accident and how it feels. So initially आपको सब दिखता है and बाद में it's like completely black for you.
Right. Okay. So you were thinking about your friend, right? In fact, I must take this opportunity, all of you, to introduce you to a very dear friend of mine whose name is Ganesh Falke. Ganesh is on this call. I'm sure you will be able to see him. Ganesh, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, Ganesh Uzda is somebody who is visually impaired and a very similar case to your friend. Ganesh could see very well. He lived in a village somewhere in Maharashtra. And I'm going to ask Ganesh to very quickly explain what happened and where and how he lost his sight. But before I do that, let me just give you a brief introduction to Ganesh and where I met him. I teach at St. Xavier's College in Mumbai, which is one of the premier colleges in India for arts and for the humanities, also for the science and other courses. And Ganesh came to our college, took admission in our college, secured admission in one of the premier institutions of Mumbai and India, not out of sympathy, not out of anything else, but because he earned the seat there. He scored enough to reach the cutoff and came to St. Xavier's College, completed his graduation there, and moved on from St. Xavier's College to work for, no worries, if somebody's phone battery has died or anything like that, don't worry. These things happen during a call, Neha, so that's perfectly all right. So, and then coming back to Ganesh, he moved on to do a job where he joined a technology firm and is working on accessibility. During the lockdown, he went back to his hometown, spent a lot of time with his parents and with his lovely cow. Ganesh, गाय का नाम क्या है?
Yes, so गाय का नाम गौरा है.
Arey wah, okay. And spent a lot of time back in his village, and now he's back in Mumbai. In between, during the lockdown, Ganesh also with a friend of his started a YouTube channel called Suhani Inspires, where he interviews a lot of people with disabilities just like him, not only with visual impairment, but also other disabilities, right, Ganesh?
Yes.
Did I miss out any important points, Ganesh?
No, sir. All covered.
तो आपका blindness के बारे में आप थोड़ा बताएंगे as a starting point?
Yeah, so initially I was in my village with my parents. So I love swimming. So एक दिन ऐसा हुआ कि जब मैं छोटा था, when I was in 9 years old, तो तभी मैंने एक दिन बहुत swimming की, let's say for 3.5 hours. So उसके बाद मेरे eyes पे सूजन आया. Then we went to doctor. Then doctor said कि it happened because of water infection. So then after that, with the help of writer, somehow I completed my primary education in my village only. But after that, for high school, you have to go to cities because there was no facility in our village.
कहाँ पर है आपका village?
It's in Satara district, Karad, in Maharashtra.
Okay.
Yes. So then somehow I completed my education till 7th standard. And then in 2009, I shifted to Mumbai for further education. So my elder sister, जो मुंबई में रहते हैं, तो उनका शादी हुआ तो उन्होंने मुझे यहाँ पे लेके आए for education. Then I got the admission in one of the blind school in Mumbai, Happy Home and School for the Blind. So in 2009, I got the admission in 6th standard. So because I had to cope up with Braille and everything. So then school में मैंने Braille cope up किया, and then in the first year itself, I was a rank holder in the school. So then 10th standard में I got 88%, and that's how I got the admission in St. Xavier's College.
So you made the cutoff for St. Xavier's, right? With 88%.
Yeah.
Okay. Then आगे?
Then in St. Xavier's College का जो journey था, it's really amazing because I was in boys school, then, and it was a vernacular medium. So directly from Marathi medium into English medium, it was a horrible experience for me, to be very honest. But then my friends pushed me a lot. They used to talk to me in English only. So that helped me a lot. And then वो friends बनाने का एक process भी था, वो बहुत amazing था क्योंकि nobody is going to come to you and speak. So I only had to speak because वहाँ पे gap होता है, sighted people और person with disability, उनके बीच में gap होता है कि sighted लोग सोचते हैं कि if I ask him कि कैसा है, क्या है, or what's the reason behind your blindness, they'll feel offended. So it's nothing like that. So फिर मुझे वो सब करना पड़ा. But luckily I got so many friends और आज बहुत सारे groups भी हैं. So that's how फिर मैंने स्कूल जो कॉलेजेस में गया मैं तो वहाँ पे मुझे स्पोर्ट्स में बहुत इंटरेस्ट है. So I am a footballer and cricketer as well. So in college, I got the chance to represent Mumbai at national level. So I represented Mumbai at national level twice in 2015.
Blind football, right? Blind football.
Yeah, in blind football. Yeah. So I represented Mumbai in Delhi in 2015 and Bangalore in 2017. So जो journey था St. Xavier's College में, so I got the confidence there only कि how to move forward. Then sports में कैसे आगे जाना है. And then in 2019 I completed my graduation. I did part majors in sociology and anthropology. And after that directly I went into IT field. So I work currently I'm into accessibility sector only, where we test websites. So we help our clients make accessible websites. So yeah, that's my whole journey up till.
Ganesh, एक चीज तो रह गया यार.
कौन सा?
You said you were going to a boys school and then जब से सेंट जेवियर्स कॉलेज में आए तो बॉयज को छोड़ दिया आपने, सिर्फ गर्ल्स ही बनाए फ्रेंड्स आपने.
Yeah, that's why I said it was really a horrible experience initially.
I'm sure Rasika will not agree with this, but just joking. But the fact is, that in short was Ganesh's story. Ganesh, you saw all these people doing these activities, right? आपको कैसा लगा? क्या success थे, नहीं था, success था, मजा आ रहा था, क्या चल रहा था?
Yeah, it was a fun कि लोगों को देखते हुए क्या activities कर रहे हैं. And yes, initially सब ऐसा sense of anxiety, डर होता है, fear होता है. But the best part was somehow all of them managed to complete the activity. So they didn't give up. So वो देख के बड़ा अच्छा लगा.
When you guys were doing these activities, both Ganesh and I were actually exchanging a couple of messages, and we found something really, really nice. Rasika, may I share that with all of you? We found something really nice. And since you know the entire group, Ankit, Rasika, Uzda, Swati, all of you, maybe you can give us the answer to this question. The question is, when I told you to wear your blindfolds and start doing these activities, make a heart, draw a heart, make a boat, all of that, at that point, not a single one of you gave up. Not a single one of you said, ये मैं नहीं करने वाला हूँ, ये मैं नहीं करने वाली हूँ. What if I make a fool of myself? I'm just going to listen. Not one of you did that, right? Ankit, Jain, why do you think nobody gave up?
Sir, I suppose I didn't give up. The difficulty level was not too high.
Okay.
They were relatively simpler activities. And okay. Secondly, there was a sense of getting to get into someone else's shoes and live for a while from their perspective, and that would be the motivation for me to actually go through.
Okay, Yashu, would you like to unmute yourself and tell me why you think nobody in this group gave up? And after Yashu finishes, Sai Nikam can try. Yes, Yashu.
Personally, for me, I had a friend who became blind later because of playing catch with a sharpener and the blade went and cut his eyes.
Okay.
So in school, this happened in school. So I personally wanted to understand what he would have gone through. So Xavier to try what would he have gone through personally.
Okay. Sai Nikam, would you like to unmute yourself? After that, Swati Singh, you can unmute yourself. Yes.
So I studied in Xavier, so I am aware of, I have attended Adha Chakshu, so this was experience I've had before. And one of the things that I never managed back then and even today was differentiating between money. And that was the only activity where I felt a little stressed because I did not identify the money properly. And otherwise, rest of the activities where I could keep myself calm because those were very everyday activity.
Okay.
That you could just do from the memory.
Thank you, Sai. When did you graduate, Sai, from Xavier's?
2012.
2012. Then I may not have taught you because I started teaching a couple of years after you graduated.
Science, statistics. I'm from
But I taught different faculty in different subjects. So, but it was after 2012. But chalo, kuch nahi to yahan to mile Sai. That's nice meeting you here. Swati.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Yes, Swati.
I think the reason why we did not give up, because ये जो tasks थे, these were like something which we do on daily basis, and हमें थोड़ा बहुत idea था कि हाँ चीजें कहाँ होंगी and how to do things.
Yes,
but,
you know what Swati is saying is actually 85% of the answer that I was going to give you. Swati, may I add the next 15% and give you a 100% answer to what you were saying? And think very carefully about what I'm going to say now. Okay, the reason why nobody gave up is because our bodies are designed never to give up. Our body is a wonderful machine. Every single part of our body knows what to do and knows the way. Now, suppose the straight method is not available to you, usually you will look for a workaround, you will look for another method. You don't give up, right? Swati, just imagine that you were doing this program and you fractured your right hand, and your right hand had to be put in a plaster for 3 months. It took a long time to heal, right? Swati, would you stop using WhatsApp? What would you do?
I think I'll get used to using WhatsApp through my left hand.
To your left hand, exactly, right? The body is such a wonderful machine that the body, if anything gives up, it is the mind, right? The mind says, I can't do this, I will not be able to do this, there's fear, there's stress, there's anxiety. Left to itself, if you can't do something in the straight way, अगर वो जो घी है वो सीधी उंगली से नहीं निकलती है, right अंकित? तो आप उंगली को आप टेढ़े करके निकालेंगे. You will twist your finger somehow and pull out the ghee from that bottle. That is the beauty of the human body. The human body never gives up, and that is precisely the reason. If I were to tell all of you for say 45 seconds that you have to see what I'm doing, hold your nose and this way and stop breathing, right, and hold your breath. What would happen after 45 seconds? Automatically, your mouth would open and you would take a great gulp of air. Do you need to train your mouth to open? Do you need to tell your mouth to open? No. The body will find out for itself what is the next available opportunity. Right, Ganesh? आपका क्या experience है इसमें?
Yes, so बेसिकली यही होता है कि जब हम किसी अलग जोन में जाते हैं ना, फॉर एग्जांपल सब लोग ने एक्टिविटीज के टाइम पे ब्लाइंड फोल्ड किया था, सो दैट्स द ब्यूटी कि अगर हम वो जोन में जाते हैं तो हमारा बॉडी अकॉर्डिंगली फंक्शन करने के लिए चालू. सो आई थिंक सिंपल यही है, सिंपल मंत्रा यही है कि अगर एवरीवन कैन डू एनीथिंग, बट थोड़ा तरीका बस अलग होगा, बस बाकी कुछ नहीं.
In fact, Ganesh likes to use a lovely word to describe, the way he does it. The word he uses is jugaad.
Yeah, exactly. But because jugaad can be in a positive sense as well.
Yeah, why should jugaad be only in the negative sense? We are all jugaadus, right? अगर हम कॉलेज में अटेंडेंस नहीं कर पाते तो किसी को बोलते ना यार मेरा प्रॉक्सी दे दो, right? So we are all jugaadus in some way or the other. Of course, the point is that it need not be only looked at in a negative term. You will find a way in order to do it, right? So Ganesh,
yes.
Do you read and write? आप कैसे reading and writing करते हो?
Okay, so a lovely question. So before, when I was in school, I used to read and write with Braille. So let me tell you, Braille is not a language; it's a script. So पहले नहीं just available थे. So we used to read with our fingers. So डॉट्स होते हैं बहुत सारे, तो एवरी लेटर को एक पर्टिकुलर डॉट दिया रहता है. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई वांट टू राइट ए, सो देयर इज अ वन डॉट, यू हैव टू पुट वन डॉट फॉर ए. So
if you go on YouTube, you'll be able to actually learn Braille. If we were meeting in flesh and blood and we were doing a real workshop, I would have been able to give all of you a small little card through which you could learn Braille. But as Ganesh was saying, one way in which he reads and writes is using his fingers. Another way in which he reads and writes is using his ears, right? Audio. What about audiobooks, right?
Yeah.
See, Rasika, when we say read and write, and somebody had mentioned reading and writing would be very difficult. Now, don't feel bad, okay? Whoever mentioned it wrote that reading and writing would be. Why did we say that? Because we looked at this activity only through the prism of our eyes. We thought reading and writing can be done only through one particular method. Now, you tell me, Rasika, you can unmute yourself. You tell me, is the end result important or is the process important? Is what you read important or how you read it important? Finally, it's about what you read that's important, right?
Yes.
You might read it using your eyes. Ganesh might read it using his fingers. A third person, Uzda's friend, might read using her ears, right? Ultimately, there's nothing wrong with the brain. As long as the inputs are going into the brain, you're able to do whatever you need to do, right? So we wrote down a few points. Do you guys think it would be a good idea to chat with Ganesh about the points that we wrote and ask him how he manages all those activities? For example, Ganesh, one of the things that we wrote was color. So how important is color for a blind person for you? महत्व है आपके लाइफ में या नहीं है?
100% महत्व है. Definitely it's really important because इसके पीछे एक simple reason है because every disabled person like all of us, we are living in a same society. So there is not any exception for me as well. So even now let's say for example अगर मेरे कंपनी के लिए एक particular dress code है, so मुझे कोई एक्सेप्शन नहीं मिलने वाला या फिर कंसेशन नहीं मिलने वाला कि गणेश तुम ये ड्रेस कोड मत पहनो. So I really have to be very careful with my dressing sense. So in that manner मुझे कलर का महत्व 100% important है. So now,
yeah. 1 minute, sorry. Many of us feel कि maybe we should not bring up this question. अगर कोई blind है तो उसको कितना बुरा लगेगा. They know that somebody asks him about color and things like that. But I realized, as I started interacting with blind people, that they like it. For example, if Ganesh has worn a nice pink shirt or t-shirt or a nice, I can't see his screen very clearly, but there is a reason why he's worn it. Ganesh, आज ये t-shirt आपने क्यों choose किया?
Because like it's a t-shirt, like it's a jersey where I used to whenever I go out कुछ represent करना है, तो I feel this is really nice because it has a zip, तो और फिर color भी orangish है, तो फिर वो मेरे fair color पे suit होता है. So I really love the t-shirt.
Arey wah, that's nice, Ganesh. Wonderful, superb. Rasika is giving you a big thumbs up. I think Rasika is going to come over and borrow your t-shirt one day. But anyway,
yeah.
So wonderful, Ganesh. So color you're saying is important to you, important to blind people, because color is important to us. And it is, yes. Unfortunately, it is the sighted people who make the rules, no? If it was blind people who made the rules, everybody would have been wearing maybe a pink, people may be wearing a pink trouser and a yellow shirt and not really bothering about. But the fact is that the rules are made by sighted people and everybody needs to fit into those rules, right? Okay, Ganesh, what about cooking? आप cooking करते हो?
Yes, why not, sir? So it's like अभी जो भी sighted लोग हैं वो as a hobby करते हैं. So in lockdown, as you mentioned, I was in my village. So that time I really learned cooking. So basically, I can cook rice, I can make tea as well. So yeah, I can do cooking very well.
गणेश, आपने वो कभी काऊ का मिल्किंग किया है क्या?
100% सर, वो भी किया है. बिकॉज अभी अगर गांव में है और काउज है तो वो यू हैव टू डू इट. लाइक देयर इज नो ऑप्शन. अगर घर के जो सारे काम करते हैं तो एट द सेम टाइम यू आल्सो हैव टू डू दैट. सो मैंने वो भी किया है.
यार तुमने दोस्ती कैसे बनाया? मैं जब गया था करने को तो लात मिला मुझे यार.
Exactly. So वो कैसा था कि with the help of my mother, so she was there. So दादा शुरू में I was moving a lot, but after that धीरे-धीरे I think she recognized my touch. तो उसके बाद हो गया.
Very nice, excellent. So yeah, so cooking. Ganesh, एक दिन आना पड़ेगा यार. फिर you're saying that you're making so many rice and other things. बिरयानी बनाओगे हमारे लिए?
Welcome sir, anytime.
Okay, super. Okay, by the way, Ganesh and I are having this discussion. Do you guys have any questions for Ganesh? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask any question. Okay. Yes, Lakshmi, why don't you unmute yourself and ask Ganesh the question? Anybody who would like to ask, and remember before Lakshmi asks the question, there is no question that is right or wrong. There is no question that is politically correct or invalid. To interact in a candid manner, feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. Yes, Lakshmi. Okay, Lakshmi says there's some issue with her mic, Ganesh, but Lakshmi's question was currency. How do you identify currency?
So it's pretty easy actually. So in terms of coins, you can identify coins like touching its borders. So जो coins होते हैं वो कुछ coins का ऐसा design भी होता है और अगर if you see 5 rupees का coin तो थोड़ा सा thick है in compared to other coins. और अगर जमीन पे भी जब गिरता है so it makes different noise compared to other coins. So it's simple है कि आप एक तो उनका thickness देख सकते हो और आप borders देख सकते हो. किसी का एकदम soft border होता है या फिर किसी का एकदम rough होता है. So according to that you can identify coins. In terms when it comes to note, so आप simply length के ऊपर depend करता है. So basically I would like to tell you अभी there are so many apps वो note recognize करके भी बताते हैं. But if you are in hurry तो better way ये है कि अगर मैं ऑटो से उतरा जल्दी में ऑटो वाले को पैसा देना है. So अगर आपको पैसा पहचानने आ रहा है still it's a better way कि आप आपके वॉलेट में करेंसी वाइज आपके जो भी नोट्स है वो लगा के रखे. So आपको कोई फिर फंसा नहीं सकता है जब ऑटो वालों को या फिर टैक्सी वाले को हम पैसा देंगे तो
in order of value 5 rupee note followed by 10 rupee note.
Yeah,
right. Okay, great, super. Yes. So that's jugaad, Ganesh, nothing but jugaad, right?
Exactly. So उससे ये होता है कि nobody can fool you. So एक ऐसा छोटा सा incident I would like to share. So मैं टैक्सी से ट्रैवल किया. अभी मुझे मालूम था मेरे वॉलेट में मैंने कितना पैसा रखा है. So 80 rupees हुआ. So I gave him 100. So उन्होंने मेरे को वापस देते समय 10 रुपए ही वापस दिए. So like क्या मतलब what's happening? मुझे मालूम है कि I gave you 100. So then he was shocked कि like how do you know you gave me 100 करके. So ऐसी चीजें होती है, बहुत फनी चीजें होती है, but it will help you अपने regular life में.
Right. So Ganesh, one of the things that was written down was knowing the time. Right. It would be difficult for somebody who is visually impaired to know the time. Can you tell us what is the time right now?
Yeah. Just a second. I will tell you. It's 12:12.
12:12. Yeah. That's a bit too much. How did you figure this out?
So basically there are so many ways. So there is I just checked my phone to be very honest, and I got to know it's 12:12.
Yeah, बड़ा जुगाड़ू निकले आप.
Yeah, sir. You have to do this.
Excellent. Okay. So the point is, Acha, how do you tell that it is morning? How do you tell that it is evening? Is there some way in which you can do that?
Sorry?
How do you tell it is morning? How do you tell it is evening? Is there some way in which you can do that?
No. In terms of time, you are saying?
नहीं. सुबह हो गया है, शाम हो गई है, रात हो गया है.
Yeah, so it's basically it's all about feeling. So if you now somebody mentioned earlier nature का point भी किसी ने mention किया था. So right. It's really beautiful point. अगर simple है कि if you can't see, you can feel, right? So that's the beauty. अगर morning भी है, so there are so many आजू बाजू में आवाज रहते हैं, बर्ड्स के आवाज रहते हैं, फिर तो उससे हमें सब कुछ मालूम पड़ जाता है. सो ऐसा कुछ पर्टिकुलर पैरामीटर नहीं होता. और जब नेचर की बात करें, इफ वी आर सिटिंग एट मरीन ड्राइव, सो नाइसली अगर वो छोटे छोटे रेनड्रॉप्स आ रहे हैं तो उसे फील करके वी कैन कंप्लीटली इमेजिन कि हाउ ब्यूटीफुल नेचर इज. I must share one incident with all you guys. I was
somebody had mentioned, right? And don't feel bad, okay? Because these are things that we talked about, and we just felt that from our own perspective. Somebody had mentioned appreciating the beauty of nature. I was once sitting on Bombay's Marine Drive. Those of you who have been Bombay and sat on Marine Drive, it's a very beautiful place where you're sitting very close to the sea, and it was near sunset. Ganesh and I were sitting there, and so as the sun was setting, there was, the last glow of the sun, the orange glow of the sun, and then very quickly it got in and, got inside the horizon, and you couldn't see it at all. And at that point, I said, wow, what a beautiful sunset this was. And just as I said, wow, Rasika, you'll find it very difficult to understand what I'm saying, but think about what I'm saying. Just as I said, wow, Ganesh also said, wow. And I asked Ganesh, why did you say wow? I mean, did you feel obliged to say wow because you knew that we are sitting here because the sun is setting there? He said, no, you saw beauty. I saw beauty as well. Perhaps you did not see what I saw. So I asked Ganesh, what is it that you saw, right? And he said, you saw the sun setting, you saw the color of the sun, all of that was nice, but there's one thing that you did not see, that as this was happening, there was a coolness in the air, and those tiny droplets, they came and kissed me on my cheek. They came and kissed you on your cheek. You were so involved in looking at the sun that you did not feel that, right? So the beauty, natural beauty, is something that can be sensed using all our senses, right, Rasika? It can be used all our senses, whether it's a sense of smell, whether it's a sense, when your mom is making some lovely food in the kitchen, can't you smell it from far away and say, hey, there's some great rasam being made here, there's some great sambar being made here, right? So sense of smell, sense of touch, sense of taste, sense of hearing, all of when you hear a lovely flute, shut your eyes and just listen to the flute, right? Can you experience beauty there? Of course we can experience beauty there. So just because one sense is taken away from you, and God forbid this should not happen to anybody, but you don't know what the world has in store for you. I mean, we've been through 10 months of a pandemic where the world has completely turned upside down for us, right? God forbid if this were to happen with you, do you think you would lock yourself in one room and say, I cannot function anymore? No, you can't. You will not do that. The fact is, what you would do is what Ganesh does every day, which is using the principle of sensory substitution. Okay, sensory substitution. What is sensory substitution? If one sense is missing, I will use my other senses to compensate for that one sense, and I will still live as enriching a life as is possible and as I can. Right, Ganesh?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Anybody has any other questions for Ganesh? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. And don't worry about the question being awkward or the question being wrong. Yes, Ankit Jain?
Yeah, so what I wanted to ask is that, Ganesh, you have already experienced both the normal print, which we have while reading, and the Braille. So please forgive my ignorance, I'm not aware how the Braille works, but do you think if instead of Braille, just the words were a bit, words were outlined like dots, would it have been easier? आपके लिए आसान होता अगर खाली words को outline,
shape of A, shape of A, shape of B, shape of C.
Yes, shape of word letters का shape होता outline, या Braille ज़्यादा easy है समझने में?
To be very honest, Braille would be more easier because it's only 6 dot का script होता है. Braille इतना सारा हम लिखते हैं A से लेके Z तक, ये सिर्फ 6 dots का कमाल है. So now if you go and if you want to do like shapes of A, B, so वो समझने के लिए बहुत time भी जाएगा, और I personally feel more than shapes, अगर आप वो डॉट्स के लैंग्वेज को completely, अगर जो स्क्रिप्ट है उसको completely आप अंडरस्टैंड करो, लाइक कौन से लाइक इन वन सेंस यू कैन से ब्रेल भी एक शेप ही है, बट ब्रेल मोर इजियर है बिकॉज वो 6 डॉट्स में है. अगर आप शेप्स बनाने जाओगे तो ऑलरेडी जो ब्रेल के बुक्स होते हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा बड़े बड़े होते हैं, सो इट विल बी डेफिनेटली ब्रेल इज अ इजियर ऑप्शन.
Ankit, there is one more reason why Braille is better. Braille is a script. Okay, Ankit, what is your mother tongue?
Hindi, sir.
हिंदी. तो आप हिंदी में लिखते हैं, मैं मलयालम में लिखता हूँ, गणेश मराठी में लिखता है, रसिका तमिल में लिखती है, right? All of this can be accomplished by just 6 dots. Now, if I were to memorize A, if I were to memorize Z, English तो हो गया, but यार अंकित मैं आपके घर पे आ गया तो फिर कैसे पढ़ूंगा मैं?
Yeah.
Right? So Louis Braille is considered to be the master, right? People worship Louis Braille for his contribution. Today, technology, as Ravi sir will tell us, today technology is something that has empowered people with disability. There are mobile phones, there are tablets. People like Ganesh use laptops. They advise people on how to create websites. Ganesh has got his own YouTube channel called Suhani Inspires. अगर आपको देखना है तो जरूर जाके देखिए. It's called Suhani Inspires. And the fact is, technology has empowered them. But where did it all begin? It all began with this man called Louis Braille. Does anybody else have any question for Ganesh?
Sir, I guess there are a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay, will you read them out, Ankit, with the name of the person
Yeah,
also?
so Janvi asks, what can we do on a daily basis to accommodate individuals who have what we see as impairments, but is just life for them?
Ganesh, what can we do to make easier for lives of people with disability?
I think, to be very honest, in terms of humanity, just give them don't give them special treatment, don't give them sympathy, just treat them with the empathy. That's it.
Right? So the most important thing, is Jahnavi, Ganesh got admission to St. Xavier's College not because he is blind. Ganesh got admission to St. Xavier's College because he made the cutoff. And when Ganesh makes the cutoff, then who is St. Xavier's College to say, no, you cannot study here? And that is the beauty of institutions like banks, like the SBI Foundation, like St. Xavier's College. In all the cities that you study in, there are so many institutions which are inclusive in nature, right? So, for example, if somebody approaches the SBI Foundation and says, will you give me an opportunity? Will you give me a job? Ravi sir is not going to say, you are blind. How can I ever do this? Right? What Ravi sir is going to say, you have reached this level. Obviously, you have a way of doing things. And if you have a way of doing things, come over. We may not have, right, Ravi sir, we may not have the answers together, but let us find out what the answers are. Your brains, your intelligence, and everything is in the right place. Just because you're going to do something differently from me, neither is it going to be better than how I do it, nor is it going to be worse than how I do it. Right, Ravi sir?
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's about giving people a chance, not because you feel sorry for them, but because they deserve a chance. Every human being today deserves a chance. You're doing such a lovely course in what you are doing in various cities, right? You're meeting so many people. Everybody that you meet deserves a chance. You got a chance today, right? And you're making the best use of that chance. What better could you do if you could give other people the chance that you got, right? So, lovely question, Janvi. And as Ganesh said, it's quite simple. Just treat them with empathy. Do not treat them with sympathy. Yes. Anybody else has a question?
Yes.
Okay. Yashu has a question.
Hello, good evening, background. So, my question to you is, what more can be done to make it inclusive for visually impaired people with respect to physical infrastructure that is being provided, like pavements or access to public transport? What difficulties or what will be better if in terms of physical infrastructure? What would you suggest?
Ganesh, आपको सबसे बड़ा challenge किस में आता है? And what would make life easier for you?
In like daily routines or in institutions or so there should be like more inclusive, like in terms of now, for example, let's say traveling. So these days stations, Mumbai में तो stations वगैरह अभी डिजाइन किए हुए हैं जहाँ पे हम लोग को सब कुछ चीजें प्रॉपरली मालूम पड़ रही है. Like basically near the handicap coach, so they have started one beeper. So and they have also make one tactile. So उनके हिसाब से हमें मालूम पड़ता है कि अभी ये tactile है तो यहाँ पे हमें रुकना है या फिर.
Have you guys traveled by the metro? Have you seen a yellow path on the metro? Yellow tiles on the metro? Any of you remember seeing it? And in case you haven't, the next time you go to a metro station, look for those yellow tiles. Those yellow tiles actually are meant to be used by visually impaired people, right? So their cane, the stick that they use, it just goes through that yellow tile from one tile to the other, and they know that they have reached that particular point. Also, when you travel in the metro, have you seen inside the metro that there is a light blinking at the next station? And there is an audio announcement as well. You know why the light is blinking? For people who cannot hear. And why is the announcement being made? For people who cannot see. Now that is inclusion. And that is inclusion that starts right from the beginning. At the planning stage itself, right Ganesh? Planning stage mein agar inclusion ho.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Yeah. Actually, I want to add one more thing. Government is also trying to make it mandatory. Unless participation by the community, it will not be a success. Actually, as per RPWD Act, I think Section 40, it is talking about accessibility. And it says whatever possible accessible things that has to be provided for persons with disability. And not only that, we have to give them equal opportunity. They don't need anything. The support which we can do to them, as rightly said by Krishna sir, they need only empathy. Even empathy or sympathy is also not that much important. We have to help them or support them to live with dignity. That is more important. Persons with disability should be made as persons with dignity. Towards that, we have to work. That's it. Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any of you have any other questions? I'm sure you have questions. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Ankit, did we cover the questions which were there in the chat box?
Sir, I guess we did, but Sheetal asked, which is the most difficult activity you find to manage in daily life? So,
okay, before Ganesh answers that question, Ganesh, the question is, which is the most difficult activity you find to manage in daily life? But before he answers that question, I have put a link on the box for all of you. This is a small handout that we give all the participants when we conduct this session in the physical format. So this same handout you can access on the link, and it talks about lives of persons with disabilities, how you can help, what are the things that can be done, what are the things that are not being done. So if possible, just click on this link, save this link for yourself, and you'll get information, right? Ganesh, what is the most difficult activity you find to manage in daily life other than finding a nice wife?
Sir, in terms of daily life, to be very honest, nothing, sir. I can do everything.
Arey wah. I think we should all clap for Ganesh. That's a super answer. Yes. But करने का तरीका अलग होता होगा, right?
Exactly. But as you mentioned, sir, end result is important. So yeah.
अच्छा, वो वाइफ वाले मामले पे कुछ चर्चा हो जाएगा, नहीं करना चाहिए?
No comments, please.
Okay, no worries, Ganesh. So any other question? यानी कि है गणेश, मुझे लग रहा है तो कुछ है आपका. Okay, any other question?
Sir, मेरा एक सवाल है.
Yes, आपका नाम भी बताइए so that Ganesh knows who is asking the question.
जी, गणेश, मेरा नाम उजदा है. मेरा आपसे सवाल है स्पोर्ट्स के रिलेटेड. हेलो, आप स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन भी रह चुके हैं, तो मेरा वही एक क्वेश्चन आपसे कि आपकी तरफ से आपको क्या लगता है कि हम कैसे और ज्यादा पार्टिसिपेशन ला सकते हैं स्पोर्ट्स में, जो विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड है या बाकी लोगों का, उनके लिए कैसे उसकी फ्रेंडली ज्यादा बना सकते हैं, या अगर ऐसे कोई स्पोर्ट्स हैं जो उनके लिए ज्यादा बेनिफिटिंग हैं, क्योंकि मैं इस डोमेन में काम कर रही हूँ एंड मुझे वो वाली चीज भी देखना है. तो ये चीज आपकी तरफ से अगर आंसर मिल जाए वेरी हेल्पफुल.
Exactly.
ये सवाल आपको आया है शेरनी से. ओके, उजदा का नाम का मीनिंग है शेरनी.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll answer Sherni's question. So basically, I'll also tell you, but I would suggest कि go and search on YouTube as well कि वो लोग कैसे खेलते हैं, तो आपको better idea आ जाएगा. Okay. Now coming to your question, मेरे हिसाब से awareness, because nobody aware of blind football, blind cricket और chess, किसी को मालूम नहीं कि लोग ये भी खेल सकते हैं. So I feel इनका अगर थोड़ा awareness हो जाए तो बड़ा मजा आ जाएगा. फिर लोग आगे आएंगे, इनिशिएटिव भी लेंगे. तो
क्या हम आपके साथ खेल सकते हैं गणेश? हम ब्लाइंड फुटबॉल आपके साथ खेल सकते हैं, चेस आपके साथ खेल सकते हैं?
डेफिनेटली खेल सकते हैं, 100%.
यस, गो अहेड.
सो अगर मेरा कहना यही है कि अगर थोड़ा सा पब्लिसिटी मिल जाए पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटी और उनके जो स्पोर्ट्स है और अवेयरनेस क्रिएट हो जाए, तो फिर बहुत सारा ये स्पोर्ट्स भी आगे बढ़ेगा ना. अभी जब से हमने वर्ल्ड कप जीता है, ब्लाइंड क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप 50-50 अगेंस्ट पाकिस्तान, तब से थोड़ी सी पब्लिसिटी होने लगी है. सो इट फील्स गुड. सो इट्स ऑल अबाउट अवेयरनेस. अगर अवेयरनेस हो रहा है तो सब चीज़ें अल्टीमेटली होती रहेगी. सिंपल चीज़ें हैं. लाइक अभी क्रिकेट में भी एक ओवर ख़त्म होना, एक ओवर ख़त्म होते ही ऐड आ जाता है, तो तब भी आपने अगर कुछ ऐड बनाए तो वो भी हेल्पफुल हो सकते हैं. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी, पब्लिसिटी इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट, अवेयरनेस इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. बाकी चीज़ें इनिशिएटिव लेकर किए जा सकते हैं.
Right. Anybody? So Neeti has a question. Neeti Saravan has a question, Ganesh. Basically, central and state level exams like civil services are difficult for everybody. It is a very physically and mentally taxing exam. She says, I have recently seen the guidelines for extra minutes given to visually challenged persons and 40 minutes is given. Do you think that 40 minutes is enough? Do you think the current way of conducting the exam is inclusive enough?
Yeah, exactly. So according to my opinion, like 40 minutes are enough. So अगर आपको 20 minutes मिलता है, 1 hour, if you are getting sighted people getting 1 hour, so हमें 1 hour 20 minutes मिलते हैं. So the point is कि अगर आपके पास MCQs भी है या फिर अगर आप राइटर को लेके बैठ रहे हैं, तो वो सिर्फ उतना टाइम कवर करना है कि राइटर हमारे लिए क्वेश्चन पढ़े, बस. बाकी हमें आंसर वही वे में बताना है जैसे आप लिखते हो. सो वो जो टाइम है आंसर लिखने का, लाइक वो लिखेंगे, वो जो लाइक बॉन्डिंग है वो अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग हुआ तो 20 minutes are enough.
Okay, thanks, Ganesh. I have also put the name of the organization where I work. Ganesh used to be, is a member of this organization. He took part in a number of activities with me. Then he moved on. And today, when I asked Ganesh, will you please come and meet all these lovely young people? He said, यार, invitation की तो जरूरत ही नहीं थी. As you can see, सुबह उठ के नहा धो अच्छा सा. Ganesh, breakfast में क्या खाया आप आज?
Breakfast में I had idli.
Idli. I thought you were so impatient to meet these guys. So Rasika is very happy and she wants to know whether you had green chutney or red chutney.
Both, sir, actually. I love both.
Rasika, this is getting tougher and tougher now. Okay, so the name of the organization is Xavier's Resource Center for the Visually Challenged, XRCVC. Okay, www.xrcvc.org. If you go onto that website, you'll find a lot of material available. You can get in touch with us as well. This is the email ID of the director, Dr. Sam Tarapurwala. He usually joins us, but today I think he was on another call, Ravi sir, so maybe he could not join us. Dr. Sam Tarapurwala is also a visually impaired person who was literally born without sight. Unlike Ganesh, he was born with very, very little sight and quickly lost whatever he had. But that did not deter him. He went on to complete his education, went on to do his graduation, his post-graduation, and then he did a PhD. And he retired very recently as the head of the Department of Sociology and Anthropology in St. Xavier's College, right? It would have been wonderful, Ravi sir, to have Sam sir and to interact with him, but I think he's busy with something else. And maybe if we organize another program and maybe if we meet all these beautiful young people again, we can surely get Sam sir to come and chat with them as well. But yes, any other questions that you guys have before?
Yeah.
Neetu Singh Dev has a question. Yes, Neetu ji, bataiye.
Yes. Hello, Ganesh.
Hello.
हाँ, मेरा एक सवाल है कि क्या आप सोशल मीडिया यूज़ करते हो, लाइक इंस्टा, फेसबुक एंड ऑल?
Yes, so definitely as sir mentioned, मेरा खुद का चैनल है YouTube. So मैं ब्रीफ करना चाहूँगा आपको कि हम लोग ये कैसे यूज़ करते हैं. तो अभी सोशल मीडिया यूज़ करने के लिए पहले हमें लैपटॉप और मोबाइल्स यूज़ करना आना चाहिए, राइट? So I would like to tell you कि there is one application in every Android phone which is called TalkBack. तो वो आपको एक्सेसिबिलिटी में सेटिंग्स में आप जाओगे, एक्सेसिबिलिटी में जाके अगर आप टॉकबैक ऑन करते हो तो वो एप्लीकेशन इट्स स्क्रीन रीडर. सो वो जो भी स्क्रीन पे वो आपके लिए रीड करता है. तो कुछ भी हो, अगर किसी का आपने नंबर सेव किया है, अगर आपने मेरा नंबर एज अ गणेश सेव किया है, सो इट विल रीड आउट फॉर यू. जो जहाँ भी आप स्क्रीन पे टच करोगे वो आपके लिए रीड करेगा कि ये क्या है, आपने किसे टच किया है. एंड द फन फैक्ट इज इवन इट रीड्स इवन व्हाट्सएप के जो इमोजीज होते हैं, स्माइलीज होते हैं, वो भी रीड करते हैं. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट टेक्नोलॉजी अभी इतना एडवांस हो गया है कि उसके कारण हम लोग सब यूज करते हैं. सो इंस्टा, हमारा सुहानी इंस्पायर्स का इंस्टा हैंडल भी है suhani.inspires. आप जाके चेक कर सकते हो, और यूट्यूब चैनल भी हमारा खुद का है. सो यस, हम सब कुछ कर सकते हैं.
गणेश, वो इमोजीज में आप जो बोल रहे थे ना, तो एक ब्लैक चश्मा पहन के एक आदमी है, वेरी कूल फेलो, उसका इमोजी कैसे पड़ता है?
वो नर्ड फेस पड़ता है.
हाँ, क्या बोलता है?
नर्ड फेस पड़ता है, नर्ड फेस.
नॉट फेस. ओके, एक्सीलेंट. या
अगर मैं बोलना चाहूँगा कि जो ये रहता है लाइक जहाँ पे एकदम बड़ा लाफ्टर है या फिर जो एकदम बड़ा रोने वाला है, तो इट रीड्स लाइक लाउडली क्राइंग या फिर टीयर्स ऑफ जॉय, ऐसा पड़ता है.
अरे वाह, that's nice. Yeah. See, this is what inclusion can do, and this is what accessibility can do. If you put out an emoji, people like Ganesh will be able to enjoy the experience just like any of us can do, because somebody has realized that there are so many users, there are so many people using this, and let us make something that every single person can use and enjoy, right? So Neetu Singh, आप पूछ रहे थे सोशल मीडिया के बारे में, and Ganesh was giving a very politically correct answer saying मैं Instagram use करता हूँ, मैं Facebook use करता हूँ. There are people who use Tinder also, right Ganesh?
Yes.
आप राइट स्वाइप करते हो या लेफ्ट स्वाइप करते हो?
तो वो डिपेंड करता है सर.
और बताइए.
मेरी फ्रेंड है, वो बैंगलोर से है, वो हमेशा रिएक्ट करती है मैं कुछ भी पोस्ट करती हूँ. तो मैं कभी पूछ तो नहीं पाई उसको कि कैसे आप पहचान लेते हो. एक्चुअली पूछना चाहिए था, बट आज सोचा कि आपसे ही पूछ लूं.
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात. Yeah, so see that ultimately everybody does everything. If you allow people to do it, if you give it to them in a platform where they can do it, remember that there is absolutely no problem in the bheja. If there is a problem somewhere else, that can easily be compensated, right? If hearing is not available, that can be compensated. If sight is not available, that can be compensated. There is absolutely no problem in reasoning. People with blindness, and by the way, this is very important. Please remember that somebody with disability is not necessarily only somebody who is an absolute hero. You might also find somebody with disability who might be shirking work. You might also find somebody with disability who might be taking human beings. Please understand that we are human beings, right, Ganesh? Ultimately,
yeah, exactly.
It's human nature. You know, just like all of us feel happy, all of us sometimes fall in love, we fall out of love, और love के अंदर क्या क्या नहीं करते हैं, right? So ultimately, anybody is a human being, and they do as much as anybody else does, right? All that they need is an opportunity to be able to do this in a different way. Okay, we have time for one more question, one last question before we can wind up. Anybody has any questions?
Yeah, Avinash is also there. He has also already joined. Yeah.
So one last question. Anybody would like to ask a last question? Avinash?
Yeah, I would.
Nupur would like to ask. Yes.
Yeah. Hi Ganesh.
Hello.
सबसे पहले तो ना मेरे को बहुत ताज्जुब हुआ कि आप मुंबई जैसे बड़े शहर, क्राउडेड शहर में ट्रैवल कर पा रहे हैं. बिकॉज आई रिमेम्बर कुछ साल पहले आई यूज्ड टू बी रियली स्कैर्ड ऑफ कमिंग टू बॉम्बे बिकॉज ऑफ द क्राउड दैट आई सीन इन द लोकल्स एंड अराउंड. So I was wondering how I used to watch this movie Ship of Theseus. तो शिप ऑफ थीसिस में there was this one protagonist जो गलियों में ऐसे घूम के she takes photos. I got really scared after watching that. So I just wanted to know how do you travel? How do you manage to navigate?
Okay, so let me tell you, my office is in Goregaon. तो मुझे अगर मैं ट्रेन से भी जाता हूँ तो मुझे लगता है 1 hour 15 minutes to reach my office. तो मेरा डेली रूटीन होता है, मैं घर से बाहर निकलता हूँ तो मैं हमेशा हम लोग एक स्टिक लेके चलते हैं जिसे व्हाइट केन बोलते हैं. तो हमारे पहले जैसे हम चलते हैं हमारे राइट हैंड में स्टिक होता है. सो व्हेन वी मूव फॉरवर्ड ना तो वो स्टिक हम लोग हमारे सामने टैप करते रहते हैं. तो अगर हमारे वे में कोई ऑब्स्टिकल आ रहा है सो दैट स्टिक विल इंडिकेट अस कि कुछ तो सामने है, यू रियली हैव टू चेंज योर वे. सो लाइक दिस हम लोग फिर मैं ऑटो पकड़ता हूँ, स्टेशन उतरता हूँ और अभी स्टेशन पे क्या कि जो एज वी मेंशन अर्लियर के टैक्टाइल्स बने हुए हैं, बीपर्स है, तो उसके हिसाब से हमें मालूम पड़ता है कि कहाँ पे हमारा कंपार्टमेंट आने वाला है. और कंपार्टमेंट में एक बार चढ़ने के बाद देयर आर अनाउंसमेंट विच इज नेक्स्ट स्टेशन. इफ यू गो टू मेट्रो वहाँ पे तो ये भी अनाउंसमेंट होता है कि डोर्स कौन से साइड पे ओपन होंगे. तो लाइक दिस अगर आप आपके कान खुले रखते हो और अगर आप आपका वाइट केन प्रॉपरली चलाते हो सो यू कैन नेविगेट वेरी इजीली.
Yeah, thanks. Excellent. We could carry on this discussion probably till tomorrow, but Avinash is going to be very unhappy if we do that, right? Hi, Avinash. Nice to see you and welcome to this workshop. But I'm really going to hand over to you very soon. But before I do that, just a couple of things we would really like to do. Is both Ganesh and I would like to thank the SBI Foundation, Ravi sir, Sridhar sir, and all of these people who allowed us to put together this show. I hope you guys enjoyed this activity and this discussion as much as we did. I'd like to just share once more my screen with you. Remember, I shared my screen right in the beginning. So I must share it again because these are the people who... One second. Here it is. These are the people who help us. Ravi sir, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, as you can see, the SBI Foundation Center of Excellence for PWDs, Dhan Testanji Parak Discretionary Trust, Godrej, Union Bank, SBI Mutual Fund, Leela Jatiani Foundation, Tatas, all of them. We do this activity all over the country. We've even done it outside the country. I once got an opportunity to travel to Germany. I did this activity in Germany as well. We don't charge participants any money for all of this, and that is because of all these wonderful supporters, right? The people whose names I just read out. They are the people who back us, and they say, if you want to go and do this activity, feel free to do it. We will provide you with the resources that you need. That is what gives us the strength to do these activities, right? And before we finish, just one last thought that I would like to put in all of your minds, right? I'm going to ask you a very simple question. I'm sure when you break for lunch today or you have dinner today with the people that you eat with, it could be your family, it could be somebody who's a colleague. You might share today's experience with them, right? And how would you describe what happened today? There are two ways in which you could describe what happened today. The first thing you could say is that I met an amazing blind person. His name is Ganesh. And he has a great sense of humor. He uses WhatsApp, he uses Tinder, he uses all kinds of things. He did well in school. He has a YouTube channel, and we had a lot of fun talking to him. The second way in which you could describe this very same thing is, I met a wonderful guy. His name is Ganesh. He has a great sense of humor. He uses WhatsApp, he uses Tinder, and all of this. And you know what? He happens to be blind. Will you put the person before the condition, Rasika, or would you put the condition before the person? Most of us, me included, when we started working in this, all that I thought, he's a blind person, she's a blind person, how will she be managing, how will she be crossing the road? Ultimately, they're human beings. We are all human beings, right? First, we are human beings, and then whether it is religion, whether it is caste, whether it is faith, whether it is disability, all of that comes in later. So thank you everybody from the bottom of our heart. Thank you Ravi sir, thank you Sridhar sir, thank you Avinash for your patience. We really enjoyed meeting all of you, and we hope we get an opportunity to meet you again in the flesh and blood. Thanks, Ganesh. Would you like to say bye?
Krishna sir,
Yeah, so-
1 minute. Sorry to cut Ganesh. Krishna sir, I would request if you can share that link in the chat box.
I've already shared the link.
Okay.
I've already shared. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to thank everyone और हमें आज भी यहाँ पे मौका मिला ये सब इतना बात करने का और एक नए फ्रेंड्स मिल गए और अवेयरनेस बढ़ रहा है ये बात देख के बहुत मजा आया so thank you very much everyone for listening to us.
Ganesh, would you like to share your telephone number in case WhatsApp पे anybody would like to get in touch with you? आप बताएंगे, I will just type it out for them.
Yeah, my mobile number is 9594.
धीरे भाई धीरे.
Okay, 9594
594
98 7098
709 1 959498 7091 Ganesh 5K. जरूर टच में रहिएगा. We enjoyed the session. Avinash, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Krishna and Mr. Ganesh, for making the session wonderful session. And now it's a time to invite our guest, Mr. Avinash Koturi. He's from BITS, and he's from the Tinkerbell Labs. It is a startup company, and over to Avinash for the rest of the session. Don't think that we'll be delaying your lunch and all. We'll be on time only, right?
What is lunchtime, sir? Could you just
1 o'clock. We said 11 to 1 for them. So
1 o'clock. I have 14 minutes. I will keep it to 14 minutes. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. First up, thank you so much, Krishna, Ganesh. That was lovely. I think I loved the energy that you brought. And I think where anybody who's in this field knows about the great work that XRCVC does. So it's an honor to also be here with all of you. And I'm sure moving forward, I hope that we can do some great work together as well, because we're in the same field of Braille literacy and ensuring that inclusive education is more accessible and there's greater quality in terms of the quality of the education itself. I see that you do a lot of wonderful work. We met a lot of your teammates before this, and hopefully conversations will proceed and we'll end up doing some great work together. But that was a riveting session. At least the 10-15 minutes that I was there, I really enjoyed it. So thank you for that. And Ravichandra sir, thank you so much for the intro and for having me here. It's always a pleasure to be here for anything SBI Foundation related. And everyone else, hi, my name is Avinash. As Ravichandra sir said, I'm based out of Bangalore right now. I hope English is good with everyone. If not, please let me know. I can switch to Hindi. But I represent an organization called Tinkerbell Labs, and we primarily work with Braille literacy using technology. And we build a product called Annie. Annie is a Braille literacy device that enables visually impaired children to learn to read, write, and type in Braille on their own. So yes, I will just switch to a presentation if that's possible, and I'll try and make that really quick. Yes. Can see my screen? Please let me know if you can see my screen.
We're not able to see it, Avinash, yet. Now we can. Yes.
Now lag will be there. Yeah, go ahead. Now we're able to see. You're able to see.
Okay. So yes, first up, I'd also like to congratulate everyone for your decision and your ability to qualify for the YFI Fellowship. I think it's a fantastic program that SBI does. I was looking at it myself a long time ago, to be very honest. For some circumstances, I wasn't able to, apply and eventually maybe get through. But I think it's a wonderful program that SBI conducts, and I honestly must congratulate you all for taking the decision to get into that, because I'm sure it's people like you who will make a huge difference in India going forward. And SBI Foundation is is giving that opportunity via YFI. So I just want to congratulate you all for that in the first place. So yes, I'll just get down to the thick of things. I have 10 minutes. So yes, we're called Thinkable Labs and our device is called Annie. So the reason we started the entire piece was it started off as a college project. As Sir said, we're all Bitspilani Goa students, and some of us did our computer science and engineering, some was mechanical, some was did electronics, and during some of our projects, we realized that one of the displays that we had made was very similar to the Braille language, the Braille code, right? So we went to a nearby school that was in Goa, which was basically the National Association for the Blind in Goa. And we demonstrated what we had to them. This was 8 years ago in 2012, if I'm not wrong, 2012 or 2013. And just the overwhelming enthusiasm that we saw really took us back because of a couple of reasons. One is there was a very clear need for technology in education for visually impaired children and visually impaired learners in general. But more than that, there has been a huge dearth in actually getting the technology there. If you think about education and how it has changed in the last 10-15 years, there has been a massive disruption, right? All of us, when we want to learn something new as sighted individuals, we have Coursera, edX, Udemy, Khan Academy, even YouTube with all the videos and just so much good interactive content that tomorrow if I want to learn economics, I can get a certification in economics in 3 to 6 months, right? But all of that completely in terms of its interactive ability has missed a lot of communities with the visually impaired community being one of them, right? So our then focus started to be from